is Astro, and for 40 years I have worked inside a program the conspiracy field calls the Big Black Triangles. That is correct, those supermassive UFOs seen over cities worldwide with regularity that seem to defy a common, sensible mission purpose. Today I write one last time and in one place what is happening and why. The unit is now called Romeo Kylo, which is shorthand for relearnt knowledge. Our officers call themselves RKs, one unit under a unified direction. So where did it all start? It started with a find in a remote, mineral-rich area of the globe, when an artifact from antiquity was dug from its resting place deep underground. Smooth as glass, resisted all efforts to image with X-rays, damaged with hammers and tools, explore further than just laying a hand on the surface. Not knowing what it was, who crafted it, it was taken to a storage area, then placed under a heavy wrap. It wasn't a secret as such, just an inconvenience to historians. Such was its amazing surface, a large black triangular stone. World War II and our first steps. The UK and USA worked together on Manhattan Project. This needs no introduction. They also worked together on radar. One without the other would have been no use, but together at the same period in history, unique signatures of mankind's material and scientific development. 1947 was an explosive year, literally. Why is this important? Because of what came next. During the active detonation testing phases of nuclear weapons, it was rationalized that this explosive force would make an ideal propulsion if it could be focused, directed if you will, to a beneficial use. The theory and practical side of graphite ablation under the stress of nuclear detonation was covered, fully understood, and deemed highly effective. A lid was put on tight, so the team approached those in power. We cannot be seen to be utilizing a nuclear-powered spacecraft inside of the Earth's atmosphere. The political storm from other nations under the flight path alone would close us down. The mass rioting and permanent presence at any test and evaluation center of Soviet-led agitators would preclude any and all further flights. You want this hidden? Hide what? The conversation that started the entire effort of clandestine research and development of Project Gateway. Project Gateway was the effort to develop and build a station outside of the Earth's atmosphere. In the beginning, we utilized high-altitude balloons, which carried aloft rockets to take a team and payload to orbit. It was our rationalization that a constant flow of smaller launches high over the oceans would draw little or no attention to the project. We were correct. Space Habitat Eden was completed. Orion. We started small, a 3-man crew, 600 feet long, ablative disc and magnetic delivery system made up there. What we couldn't produce ourselves we had delivered, a proof of concept vehicle. It was decided that we would take Orion to the dark side of the moon and detonate our first pulse in its shadow. Safety and secrecy dictated the need. The prototype worked so well in testing that Orion Sprint was greenlit for us. 1,800 yards long, 14 crew members, disc grown, milled, polished, and perfected, all off-world. From her first to 33rd flight, she performed faultlessly. Her 34th mission was a full-speed sprint to the Oort cloud and beyond. Away she went, fully fueled, fully equipped. 18 months, she was gone. Orion Sprint exploration teams were born. On terra firma then, a project to create super heavy lift vehicles was frantically underway. So was disinformation and other projects to muddy the waters. Well, not so much muddy, but turn jet black with a hint of midnight at the edges. We understood clearly the price our nations would pay if this was found out by the Soviet Union and Chinese. You have to remember this was at the apex of the Cold War. On a parallel track, our teams took to the world of academia, racing to find and acquire the finest psychologists, scientists, doctors to research the human mind. We need to adapt it, control it, utilize it, erase it. I understand that this is a touchy subject, but it was and is much needed. We needed access to a vast computational ability that computers just could not deliver. The sleeping mind, however, could. I will come back to this later, as it is important. We had deaths along the way, injuries, crashes, but it was worth it. It was a trailblazing success story. Materials, fabrications, techniques, power plants, medical technology, mining, the absolute treasure trove of knowledge pushed us to make leaps and bounds undreamt of even a few years before. Then we needed more scientific reach, so Canada, New Zealand, and Australian research staff were approached, as well as military personnel. The project swelled to 5 nations, 5 teams, 11 military oversight officials, 2 from each nation, 1 permanent blackball who could stop a project or start a project as a swaying vote, and scientists. Orion Sprint brought each journey new and greater understanding and blurred the notion of nationhood until we realized we had become, without aim, a single thriving entity. The decision was taken to mold our efforts under one overreaching umbrella. Project RK, Romeo Kylo's Relearned Knowledge, was born. The USS Kraken is the latest and final nuclear vessel. Motto: silent, unseen, with honor. To answer then, why did I mention the artifact at the beginning of this small piece? Because of what happened when it detected radar and nuclear pulses inside Earth's atmosphere. It took in more power from the surroundings than it was normally doing. We didn't, of course, know this at the time. It was just a curiosity. And then, to our utter, absolute shock, she switched herself on and started talking who she was, what she was, where she was from, what she needed from us, and in return, what help we get from her. Let me be very clear to you all here and now. She is not an alien artifact. She was made by humans in deep prehistory. We are RKs, relearners of knowledge. She simply had a blueprint, a plan, a mission-critical list for us to carry out, and we were slap bang in the right time, right space, right situation to carry out the activities on the list. She started small. Go here, retrieve this artifact. So small vessels were sent to specific points into the solar system, and we would find further instructions, and more importantly, caches of materials. Very advanced, very old materials. She guided us to the Oort cloud, and then beyond. With what we found hidden across our solar system, we were able to leap ahead of current thought and technology, developing for our teams the big black triangles, to make surface-to-space access as simple as driving a car from one street to another. Under guidance, we were shown how to make a triangular system that interlocked with the square airlock craft. This craft took 4 triangles to a wing, and after the 8th was attached, it became a supermassive Phoenix Lights chevron. There are many types now: manned, unmanned, supply, experimentation, and escape pods of a diamond-shaped nature. Mr. Pope had one briefly on his wall. How do they go so fast? They simply create a vacuum corridor upon which to fly down. There is no air resistance at all, and like a bar of soap through water, slip away, silently, whilst turning on their active camo to bend light, fast and opaque. People then ask, why then fly over a city so low and slow? Well, you see, we utilize your dreams. You are a computational device par excellence. Let me explain. The human being can do something no artificial intelligence we can develop at this present time can do. Dream. The low triangle then has a crew of scientific experimentation support on board. It is their role to broadcast the required frequencies to train and capture your sleeping self. Over a period of weeks, we add more and more detail to the signal until it is all absorbed. Then we get you to sleep on it, tens of thousands at a time, millions for complex problems, billions for specific urgent needs. Example 1. Photon mapping for a past event. Every photon of light has to be captured now, and its path reversed. To do this requires tens of thousands at once, When this is done, we simply project the results into visual images once more and replay history. Example 2. Calculating a faster-than-light path. This requires utmost precision. Utmost precision. It was difficult, dangerous, then absurdly easy once we trained the brains of humanity to constantly, in the background, run a star map simulation. All the time, awake, asleep, no matter what, it's running in the deep recesses of your brain. We simply fly over to where we have sleeping forever men, I will add to this soon, and get them to show us the way through. This brings me to abductions and clones, a very sore subject for many, but unavoidable. We need twins, lots and lots of twins, and here is why. They can communicate vast distances instantly with one another when subjected to sensory deprivation and deep cerebral stimulation. In short, Twin A can be on Eden or off Saturn. Twin B can be sat off of a galaxy 100 light years from us, and yet the message we get A to dream about is picked up by B instantly. Unbreakable, unjammable, instant deep space communication. Problem is, we need to keep the master copy, the abducted human, safe and well. Many an abductee from our program can tell you of times they should have died and a miracle saved them. We work hard to keep you alive as your signature needs to stay active for your clones to survive. You die, they die. We thought about taking you all and making you live off-world in a habitat, but it failed as it wasn't your ordinary life, and thus did you great harm. So the sleeping masses all converge onto a forever man, a human who can dream in such a manner that they can twist and condense billions of dreams into one super-fast message, who then transfers this knowledge to Sleeper A via an SES triangle in a truly vivid, extraordinary dream, and the message result is relayed in microseconds. Then the ship follows the results. It is so accurate now that we haven't lost a single faster-than-light ship since 1989. This is then why our BBTs are over your city so much, broadcasting, lifting, keeping watch, relaying information. The outcome: we followed our instruction to the letter, never faltering, always going forward. The result: we found the 4 pillars of humanity. We appeared 1 light year from the solar system's edges and rang the bell. It was a shocking moment, as we, here on Earth, had been lost to the annals of prehistory, to even these 4 super-advanced variants of mankind. We did not look at all like any of them who arrived. I was shocked. So were they, to put it mildly. The area of space that has been quarantined had drifted to mythological status. The zone kept clear of all sentient life, out of respect, if you will. Our world had become a myth. But there we were, the 5th and final piece of humanity's history. Yes, vast amounts of radio and other signals had left this planet, but the joke was, no one was looking for something so primitive. Then we needed our own refuge deep in space, our own home. It was a chance find by the USS Neptune that led us to our perfect home. We named her Olympus. So why are we still here on Earth 70 years later? Because we are populating our worlds through multi-generational breeding programs and need the sleepers. When we have enough sleepers of our own to plot pathways, we will blow out and remove ourselves. Why will we abandon Earth? In 2044, we approach the 100th year of our effort, and still the leaders of the world, every decade we come to them, pleading, begging for you all to be allowed into the fold, and every decade they refuse. Why? Control. How would we maintain control over them when we have no control over you? In 2044, we will offer one last chance to step up, to release everything we have seeded into the world's technological base, release all vehicles and propulsion systems we have shown and gifted to make interstellar travel as easy as flight to another city. If they refuse, we of Olympus will have to become the 5th arm of humanity, and the Earth will be left to do as it sees fit, without quarantine that kept the planet safe for over 250,000 years. To the 36 forevermen I have been exchanging messages with, guiding and helping. Travel well, my friends. May your enlightenment bring you great comfort and knowledge. To those who travel down the rabbit hole with me, enjoy the view when you catch the green rabbit. She is worth the struggle, I promise.